What if I told you one of the most meaningful relationships on earth, marriage, doesn't exist in heaven? Not because it failed, not because it ends badly, but because something far greater replaces it. And here's the real question most people avoid. If there's no marriage in heaven, would you still want to go? Don't answer that too quickly. Because by the end of this video, your entire understanding of love, eternity, and relationships might completely shift. And trust me, reason number 3 is the one most people have never truly grasped. This idea actually comes directly from Jesus himself. In Gospel of Matthew 22:30, he says, "At the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven." Now think about that. Marriage is one of the deepest human bonds we experience. So why would it not continue into eternity? Is heaven missing something? Or have we misunderstood something? Let's break this down step by step. Reason 1. Marriage was designed for earth. To understand why marriage doesn't continue, you have to understand why it was created in the first place. Go back to the beginning. In Book of Genesis 1:28, God says, "Be fruitful and multiply." Marriage was part of a system designed for earthly life, building families, raising generations, sustaining humanity. It also addresses something else, human limitation. On earth we experience loneliness, incompleteness, the need for companionship. But Jesus gives us a clue about eternity in Gospel of Luke 20:36. They can no longer die and are like the angels. No death. That alone changes everything. Because if no one dies, there's no need to replace life. If no one lacks, there's no need to fill emotional gaps the same way we do now. Heaven is not a continuation of earthly systems. It's the completion of them. So if marriage was designed for life here, what happens to love there? This is where it gets deeper. Reason 2. Love is no longer limited. Most of us think of love through a very human lens. On earth, love is often selective, exclusive, sometimes even possessive. You give a unique part of yourself to one person. But that kind of love exists partly because we're limited. We don't have the capacity to love everyone fully at the same depth. But the Bible hints that this changes completely. In 1 Corinthians 13:12 it says, "Now I know in part, then I shall know fully." In eternity, love isn't reduced, it's expanded. Imagine a reality where there's no jealousy, no insecurity, no fear of losing someone, no misunderstanding. You don't love less people deeply. You love everyone perfectly. And that changes the entire structure of relationships. Because marriage, as we know it, is built on exclusivity. But in heaven, there's no need to limit love to one person. Now here's where everything comes together. Because if marriage ends and love expands, then what was marriage really pointing to? Reason 3. Marriage was always a symbol. This is the part that most people overlook. Marriage was never the final destination. It was a symbol. In Epistle to the Ephesians 5:31-32, it says, "The two will become one flesh." This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. That means human marriage is actually a reflection of something greater, a preview of a deeper union. And here's the truth that changes everything. There is marriage in heaven, but not human marriage. There is one eternal marriage between Christ and his people. In Book of Revelation 19:7 it says, "Let us rejoice, for the wedding of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready." That's the moment everything was pointing toward, the marriage supper, the final union. So human marriage doesn't continue, not because it's meaningless, but because it has been completely fulfilled. It's like holding a shadow and then stepping into the reality that created it, or using a map and finally arriving at the destination. At that point, you don't need the map anymore. And this is where it becomes personal, because it forces you to rethink what heaven actually is, not just a better version of Earth, but something entirely different. A place where nothing is temporary, nothing is incomplete, nothing is at risk of being lost. Even the best relationships we experience now are only a glimpse of something greater. But let me ask you something, and be honest. Would you still feel satisfied in heaven without marriage? Do you think you'll recognize your spouse? And if so, what would that relationship look like? Some people strongly agree with this. Others completely disagree. I want to hear your perspective. Drop it in the comments. Because the more you explore these questions, the more you realize there are mysteries in Scripture most people never stop to think about. And some of them change everything. Subscribe for more.